What's up, guys? I'm BTC. Sigma is now playable on the PTR, and this character looks amazing. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like, and if you're new, subscribe and hit that bell to get more. Let's get started. Alright, let's check out this character. He does have a very high skill requirement. This is probably the highest skill requirement tank character in the game. So the first thing I want to show you is that he doesn't actually walk on the ground, he floats. And because of this, he's very, very tall. I mean, it's a tall character, but the fact that he's floating means that, you know, he's going to be higher up off the ground. In fact, he barely makes it through a lot of the doors in the game, so if you jump, you can't actually go through some of the doors, or you hit your head at least. It looks like they might have smoothed it a bit. Alright, so his primary attack is called the Hyper Spheres, and this launches 2 charges which implode after a short duration, dealing damage in an area. So he throws out 2 of them. Each one does 60 damage if it's a direct hit. And as you can see, it bounces off of things, which is really cool, because then you can throw them into a room or around a corner, and it will hit the characters over there. So that's really cool. And then if you have the direct hits, it does, again, 60 per. And if it's an indirect hit, it does a little bit less damage, because there's a bit of an AoE on it. And just like D.Va, there is infinite, so you don't have to worry about ever reloading with this character. His first ability is called the Kinetic Grasp. So this is one of his defensive abilities, and this is kind of like... It's kind of like D.Va Defense Matrix, but not really. So let me show you. You can see that I have 300 white health right now, and then 100 shield. So I'm going to activate this as soon as this bot starts attacking again. You can see that I completely absorb all of the attacks, but as a bonus, I also get extra health. Now this is temporary health. You see I got 19 right there. I believe the maximum you can get is 400. So the difference between this and D.Va Defense Matrix is that it absorbs the damage, not the object itself. So, for example, if Pharah was using Barrage, you could absorb that damage, but if Zarya throws her ultimate at you, you can absorb that small amount of damage, but it's not going to prevent you from getting locked. Like, you're still going to get pulled in by the ultimate. It doesn't remove any of those effects, just the damage, and that's it. Now, speaking of blocking damage, he has a barrier. If you remember from Symmetra 2.0, she had a barrier that you could throw out, and it would just keep going and going and going. And with this guy, you can do the same, except you actually get to control it. So I'm going to hold down right-click, and I can throw it out, and then when I let go, it stops moving. So it doesn't keep going like Symmetra's did. So if I want, I can put it right in front of me by just tapping it. Just tapping it for a second will put it right in front of you. And as you saw, you know, you can put it at any angle you want. You can put it directly above you. You can put it at an angle. You can angle it down if there's someone below you. So you have a lot of control with this. And then you click it again and it pulls it back in. Now the thing with this barrier is that it doesn't recharge unless you pull the barrier back in. So it's just like Reinhardt. If the barrier is up, then it stays at that health, and it doesn't recharge. It's not like Orisa where you get a new barrier all the time. So you have to cancel the barrier and pull it back in order for it to build back up. And then he has another ability. This is called the Accretion, and it will gather a mass of debris and throw it at an enemy to knock them down. Now, I know people don't tend to like crowd control effects, but here's the thing. If you're close to a character, all it does is a very, very tiny boop. Like, it moves them a little bit. That's it, right? However, if you're really far away from them, there is a bit of an arc on this, I think. Yeah. So it doesn't go too far. Also, the attacks automatically explode. Well, technically they're imploding, apparently. So it's not like you can throw these across the room, right? There's a max distance to them. So let me show you this. So you can throw it, and it will knock them down. It knocks them further back and down. So it's like Reinhardt's Earth Shatter when they get knocked down. Let me see if I can hit one of these guys. Okay, let me see if I can hit one of these guys. So you see, it's kind of like a mini stun effect, a knockdown. But in order for that to happen, they have to be far away from you. If they're right next to you, then it's just that tiny little bit of a boop kind of thing. And then we have his ultimate, which is called the Gravitic Flux. I think that's how you pronounce it. You manipulate gravity to lift enemies into the air and then slam them back down. So here's how it works. When you activate the ability, you start flying in the air. Then you get this targeting. You press the button again, and it will lift people up into the air. Now, they're not going to take any damage while they're up in the air, unless you're hitting them. But when you slam them back down, they take 50% of whatever their max health is. So if you're able to get them under 50% of their health, then when they hit the ground, it's going to take them out. Now, again, while they're up in the air, they don't take any damage except for when you're hitting them. So it's going to be good for your teammates because it's going to be easier for them to, hit the targets that aren't moving around. Also, when you activate the ability, you get infinite flight, basically, for the full duration, and you can move pretty high up. Like, you can go probably about that high up when you activate your ultimate. So you get some pretty good height on it. Now, this character has so much stuff going on, right? Like, there is a ton of stuff going on with this character, and it is just, like I said, it is a very, very high skill requirement character. A lot of times, like, there's just so much stuff to do, right? Like, you can throw the shield, and then you can, try to knock the enemies back. You also gotta bounce your attacks around and stuff, and you can absorb the attacks whenever your barrier isn't available and convert it into those shields and stuff. Like, there is just so much stuff going on with this character. Crazy, crazy amounts of stuff going on. This is a really cool character, though. I really like it. I think it's going to definitely change the game, right? Especially since we have the 2-2-2 going on right now. I don't know how much this is going to have in the lower bracket because, again, super high skill ceiling, and it's going to be hard for people to be effective with it, right? But in the upper bracket, I think that this character, when you have a super, super high skill player who's using it, this character is just going to be really, really amazing. So there you go. Sigma is now available on the PTR. You can go and try it out for yourself if you like. What do you think of Sigma? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like to see more, subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss anything. Also, come hang out in my Discord server and my Twitch live stream. Special thanks to my Patreon supporters. If you'd like to see what kind of cool VIP rewards you can get, check the links down below. And remember, always, always blame the controller because it's never your fault.